Did I ever tell you about the time my two sisters and I were each handed a 20 kg bucket of mandazis by our parents and told, finish it? Oh, yes, it happened. Sometimes parenting requires a level of creativity and practicability that leaves the kids and their stomachs forever changed. I call this one the day we learned honesty the hard way.
Welcome to Humor Meets Storytelling with Dr. Mathoni Omohango. Step into our little corner of the internet where wit and wisdom shake hands, and every story comes wrapped in faith, fun, and a sprinkle of humor. Sure, life has its ups and downs, but here, we believe that a hearty laugh and a heartfelt story can make all the difference. Whether you're looking for a moment of joy, a fresh perspective, or just a reason to pause and smile, you're in the right place. From everyday moments to faith-filled reflections, we serve up 10 minutes of laughter, insight, and storytelling, a perfect way to unwind, recharge, and refocus. So wherever you are, stuck in traffic, sipping your evening tea, or winding down from a long day, plug in, press play, and let's share a laugh, embrace a lesson, and celebrate life together. Life's too short, so let's make it count. Tune in daily on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Spotify, and WhatsApp, and let's spread the joy, one story at a time.
Wow, growing up in a family of five is always an adventure, especially when you're the middle child, sandwiched between two sisters. I was the perfect blend of mature enough to know better and young enough to be talked into nonsense. Take this one time when I was about 7. Our family attended a church 2 hours away on foot. Yes, on foot. You would think the Lord would cut us some slack for sheer effort alone, but no. Sunday school still came with offerings. Our parents gave us each one shiny shilling to drop into the basket, ensuring we had a tangible reminder of sacrifice and obedience. Noble, right? Well, my older sister, Dee, she had a different take on things. One fateful Sunday, she casually suggested we invest those shillings elsewhere. Mandazis, that's sort of like donuts. Her reasoning? Why should God get all the money all the time? Sometimes we deserve a little reward for all this walking and worshipping. Brilliant logic for a 7-year-old, I thought. My younger sister, Kainos, and I, being the loyal accomplices we were, nodded our agreement. The pinky swear sealed the deal. Next thing we know, we are at a small hotel right next to Full Gospel Church, ordering mandazi and tea like seasoned regulars. The owner, a friend of my dad's, even gave us VIP treatment, hot mandazis, steaming tea, and a warm smile. We wiped our mouths like pros, thanked him politely, and skipped off to church with the smug satisfaction of a job well done. Mom's the one. Then came the twist. After church, Dad decided to treat us to lunch at the very same hotel. We knew we were doomed the minute we walked in, and the hotel owner beamed, "Ah, welcome back." Our hearts sank faster than a deflated football. Dan's head turned toward us in slow motion, his eyebrow raised so high it might have flown off his face. "Welcome back?" he asked, his voice calm, measured, too calm. The three of us exchanged frantic glances, our secret crumbling faster than a poorly made mandazi. My younger sister suddenly developed a deep interest in her scarfed shoes, while Dee, our fearless ringleader, cleared her throat like a politician preparing to spin a scandal. Well, you see, um, she began, but Dan's piercing look was enough to shut her up. "Ah, yes, yes, yes," the hotel owner beamed, blissfully unaware of the chaos he was causing. "They were here this morning. They hand Madazi and tea. Very polite kids and so well mannered." Mom let out a long, world-weary sigh, the kind that said, "What did I do to deserve these children?" Dad, on the other hand, just shook his head slowly, his lips pressed into a grim line. So that's where your offering money went, he said, his voice heavy with both disappointment and the kind of calm that makes you wish for loud shouting instead. That was the end of the intended lunch treat from Dad and Mom. The walk home was quiet, save for the sound of our flip flops slapping against the dusty path. The real judgment began when Dad placed a giant sack of eggs flour on the counter with a dramatic thud. Moments later, he followed up with a tub of chili cooking fat. You like mandazi so much, Dan said, his voice thick with mock cheerfulness. Then you will eat mandazi until you can't stand the sight of it. Dad and Mom went on to knead the dough, then fried the mandazis, and in no time, we were called back to the kitchen. Mom handed us each a massive bucket of freshly fried mandazi, her face a picture of calm furry. Eat, she commanded. Dee trying to keep her cool, grabbing a mandazi and taking a big bite. See? Easy, she said, though her first grin didn't last long. By mandazi number 10, the smugness had evaporated. Dee leaned back in her chair, clutching her stomach. I can't, I'm full, she groaned, her face pale. I don't want any more, my younger sister whimpered, tears spilling down her cheeks. Dad, arms crossed and a hint of amusement tugging at the corners of his mouth, simply said, keep eating. We pushed through a few more bites, but the buckets of mandazi might as well have been bottomless pit. Meanwhile, Mom and Dad sat watching, their disappointment heavier than the frying pan used to cook our punishment. When it became clear we were defeated, Dad sighed and said, if you can't finish, there is still the second half of the punishment. We didn't even have the energy to protest. A thorough spanking followed, cementing the lesson into both our minds and our backsides. This spanking, it was a well-oiled joint project. Mom would start delivering her swift justice, then hand you over to Dad for the encore. And just when you thought you were done, Dad would pass you back to Mom for the grand finale. From that day on, we never so much as glanced at a mandazi without hearing Dan's voice in our hands. Finish it. Safe to say, Sunday school offerings never went missing again. Looking back at that moment over 30 years later, I can't help but admire how my dad and mom worked in perfect unity to administer discipline. It was like they had attended some parenting in tandem seminar. Talk about teamwork. They didn't just spank, they collaborated. Here are my three lessons from the Great Mandazi Heist. 1. Teamwork makes the dream work, even in discipline. My parents showed us that the power of unity, even in moments of correction. Their tag team approach to discipline wasn't just efficient, it was a masterclass in parental collaboration. Whether in marriage, parenting, or life in general, unity and shared purpose, they are invaluable. As Ecclesiastes 4:9 reminds us, two are better than one because they have a good return for their labor. Whether administering discipline or navigating life, teamwork amplifies impact. 2, actions have consequences, and sometimes they taste like mandazi. Sneaking off to trend offering money for snacks seemed like harmless fun until it wasn't. The buckets of mandazi taught us that every decision, big or small, has a ripple effect. Choices driven by selfishness or disobedience often lead to discomfort later on, or in our case, stomachaches and spankings. Proverbs 22:6 encourages parents to train their children in the right way so they will not depart from it. Sometimes that training requires creative consequences that leave a lasting impression. 3. Honesty is always the best policy, even when it's hard. Our secret didn't just unravel, it exploded in our faces. What made things worse wasn't just the act itself, but the attempt to cover it up. Integrity is non-negotiable, and truthfulness protects relationships, whether with people or God. As Proverbs 10:9 says, whoever walks in integrity walks securely, but whoever takes crooked paths will be found out. No mandazi is ever worth the price of broken trust or the fear of being welcomed back by a chatty hotel owner. This story wasn't just about mandazi or punishment. It was a moment that shaped our understanding of teamwork, accountability, and honesty. Lessons that, thankfully, have lasted far longer than the sting of that spanking. So, what book is in my hands today? None other than John Irungu Juguna's masterpiece, Interpersonal Love and Marital Relationships. This book excels at unpacking the beautiful and sometimes maddening intricacies of love and marriage. With practical insight, relatable stories, and scriptural truths, it feels like having your own personal marriage counselor on your bookshelf. It's packed with wisdom that is both profound and practical, perfect for couples, singles preparing for marriage, or even parents who want to refine their joint spanking strategies, kidding sort of. From learning how to work as a team to tackling tough conversations, this book is a treasure trove of guidance. It's the kind of read that grips you from page one, inspiring you to reflect, grow, and apply godly principles to your relationships. Whether you're looking to enrich your marriage or just want a better understanding of life's complexities, this book delivers. Now, if only interpersonal love and marital relationships had been around when my parents were crafting their spanking strategies, maybe you would have gotten away with fewer mandazi lessons. Then again, would have missed out on the teamwork inspiration that shaped their marriage and our back signs. A truly enriching and impactful read.
Let's meet the author. Njuguna is a Bachelor of Science graduate in Environmental Science from Egerton University with over 15 years of experience in the banking industry as an environmental, social, and governance and sustainability specialist. He is also trained in customer experience, relationship building, and family wellness therapy. A passionate mentor and writer, Njuguna began his writing journey at Egerton University, serving on the editorial committee of the Christian Union magazine, and later honing his skills as an English and literature teacher in Moranga County. His debut manuscript, Groping in the Dark, set the stage for his career in both fiction and nonfiction, covering love, marriage, family, environmental issues, and personal development. As the founder of Therapeutic Experience, he helps individuals cultivate emotional and relational well-being through an 8-dimension wellness approach, offering customized self-care interventions. A committed trainer and mentor in marriage and family education, Njuguna is passionate about strengthening relationships and empowering communities. His other published works include 1. Erotism, Sex, and Intimacy, A Guide to a Healthy Married Life. 2. Customer Experience, The Competitive Battleground. Here's an excerpt from Njuguna's writing journey, Brewing Happiness. Njuguna discovered how tea serves as more than a beverage. It fosters connection and conversation. Inspired by his Kenyan heritage, he promotes the ritual of sharing tea as a tool for strengthening relationships and communities. His journey illustrates how everyday habits can transform lives, build bonds, and inspire meaningful dialogue. Read more at africanauthors.net/John Njuguna Irungu. You've been listening to Humor Meets Storytelling with Dr. Muthoni Omuhango. As we close today's episode, remember, laughter is a gift, and every story is a reminder that God's grace is ever present. If today's dose of humor and insight lifted your spirit, don't keep it to yourself. Share the joy, send this episode to a friend, chat about it with a colleague, or strike up a conversation with that random person next to you on the bus. Trust me, they might need it too. Join us again tomorrow for another 10 minutes of storytelling, laughter, and wisdom. Until then, keep shining, keep sharing, and keep anchoring your joy in God's unshakable love. This is Humor Meets Storytelling with Dr. Muthoni Omuhango, signing off with laughter, grace, and a heart full of stories. See you soon.